Earlier this year, I decided to take a look at a growing concept that many big players are starting to invest on pretty heavily: cloud gaming, which is to say running a game on a high-end server somewhere else and streaming the video footage of the game back to you. I was surprised at the maturity of some of the commercial services doing this already and left with a good impression of a couple of them. I saw issues with the concept that definitely limit it becoming the main way to game on a global scale, but I was left thinking of the potential this could have on a very specific niche of people. One interesting service that I missed was Shadow, which is really ironic considering that this whole miniseries was inspired by Super Bunny Hub's video on cloud gaming, and he did that after trying out Shadow specifically. So after getting an account and using Shadow as my primary means of gaming for a week, I have some thoughts to share. Cloud gaming services that I have tried at this point seem to fall in one of two categories. You either rent what is basically a full PC where you install Steam, GOG or whatever service you want, and you download and play your games there, or you have a curated list of pre-installed games that you still need to own in Steam but that require no download or external install from you. Shadow lands in the first category. You get what is basically a fantastic PC with an ungodly internet speed that you can literally use for almost anything, but is currently mainly geared towards gaming. Now, the most interesting point that stuck with me through my experience with Shadow is how different their strategy and target seems to be. On my previous video on the topic, I listed out some of the circumstances that need to be met in order for cloud gaming to make sense for the final consumer, which were the main reasons why the whole concept remained a niche product. One of my arguments had to do with economics. If you live in a country where these services are available, it comes into question if it makes sense to pay a significant amount of money a year to rent a gaming PC with a penalty on input lag, rather than putting that money towards hardware. So it made sense to me that in order to make this product work, the services will have to compete in lower costs. Which is why Shadow surprised me by silently doing something that initially seemed counterintuitive. The basic subscription is more expensive than previous services I have reviewed, but they offset comparisons by basically doing a lot of things better, which sort of makes them a premium choice in this unusual world. And let me show you what I mean by that. Shadow is officially only supported in a handful of countries where they can ensure a low level of latency, and the extra price does seem to go to some substantial improvements. The one option for a PC that you get from them is very much powerful enough to run anything on high settings. I live in what is technically an unsupported country, and I was still close enough for a data center to actually have a fantastic experience after setting a bandwidth limit to 15 megabits per second. I committed to the idea of using this as my only gaming PC for 1 week, and ended up finishing a couple of games that require very tricky timing and that could be screwed up with input lag, and I was able to game normally. Also, I was surprised by the hardware that could be used as a Shadow terminal. During my previous videos, I was using my GPT Pocket Intel Atom PC as a sort of measurement of how efficient the decoding will be. So I installed Shadow and decided to try an extremely tricky sequence in A Hat in Time, a platformer that requires a lot of precise jumping. As you can see, after some practice, I was able to fend for myself, so in that department Shadow performs as well as GeForce Now, but with the benefit of allowing any game. After all, this very game, A Hat in Time, is not supported by GeForce Now. During my week testing, I got so used to the service that I could envision using it as my full-time home gaming option. When it works. It only takes one element in the line, like the fact that my audio will desync specifically when using Bluetooth headphones, which sounds like a weird bug that might be fixed soon, or the fact that I could not find an easy way for it to work with the factually superior Steam controller. But those are minor and probably fixable issues. What is most important is that, like other services I have reviewed before, it only works with the proper network stability. I had no issues with 5 GHz Wi-Fi, but out of curiosity I tried running it on my fancy CD 4G, and well, you can see what happens. Part of the problem with network stability and cloud gaming is that it either works beautifully or does not work at all, with very little space in between, which is a damn shame because you can get away with some really crazy stuff if you have the bandwidth to spare. For example, I was told they currently have a beta functionality that allows you to send USB data through the internet, effectively allowing you to connect any USB device to your Cloud PC. Since I'm a crazy person, I connected a webcam and a microphone and configured them so their USB data will be streamed up to the Cloud PC using the lowest bandwidth options possible. I then installed OBS and tried streaming from the Cloud PC on Twitch. So what you're actually looking at right now is one of the weirdest experiments that I have done in a while. This game's not running on my local PC. This is running on a cloud computer, it's in a server somewhere. And so I'm sending the input of this microphone and this camera through IP back to the Cloud PC to be recognized as a USB input, and then running the game on the Cloud PC and running OBS on the Cloud PC simultaneously and streaming from there. And it's actually working. It works? But a camera, microphone and controller turn out to be too much for my meager upload stream, and that gives me a better clue of who is the ideal user for this experience. If you're a gamer in a supported country with a fantastic internet connection but no interest in building or optimizing your own PC, this service might actually be a good fit. It doesn't have the crazy customizability of Parsec and can be significantly more expensive, but in turn, it is easy to use, and when it works, you can pull some really crazy stuff with it. So this is as close as a deluxe cloud gaming option as it gets. Add to it the fact that they're experimenting with adding Ubuntu support and other features, and you can see how it aims to almost replace your entire main PC, with the pricing pushing you to commit as much time as possible. And hey, I get it. Through my time testing, not only have I used it as my main gaming machine, but I also ended up using it for all sorts of tasks. I had a shadow window open most of the time in the background. Worth the price? You tell me. A revolution in cloud computing? Probably not, but yet another hint that cloud gaming might be a part of the future for a lot of people in Europe and Japan, maybe the United States if they manage to untangle their infrastructure, but still missing in action for a lot of you guys. So what do you think? Is cloud gaming reaching its maturity, or is this not a concept worth investing any time on? Let me know in a comment, or if you're a patron, send me a message. I read all of those for sure.